The warm wishes of the day. This is Dr.N.Shirisha, Associate Professor from CSC Department, MLR Institute of Technology. And here is a session which continues the XML, defining the XML tags and also its values and attributes and their values. So, defining the XML tag. So, XML elements, how to define the XML elements, already we have discussed in the previous session, but I will show you with the help of an example. Everything that includes in the XML will have a starting tag and ending tag. So, price is a starting tag. So, obviously, price should be ended. It is case sensitive. If you are using all the smaller case letters, use smaller case letters in the ending tag also. An element can contain text, attributes, other elements or a mix of the above. So, an element can contain anything. Okay. Then, bookstore. What is a bookstore? So, here is a hierarchy we have where bookstore is the root element. So, naming rule for this bookstore, you have started at the starting tag, so you have to close it at the end. Then, book is a child tag with an attribute category, and this children is a value, therefore, you are giving that in the double quotes. So, every XML element may have this prologue statement XML version equals to 1.0, encoding is equals to, the value should be given UTF-8, question mark, close. There is not, so here we have the XML prologue statement in this way. Please don't write a closing tag of XML like this. Okay. Then, book, we have a child tag category which is a children. Children is a value. This is how we define attribute for the value. And every element, if you see here, every element can have text, attributes or other elements. So, here this is an element which is having the other elements, attributes, text. Okay, and also other elements. Other elements are title, author, year, price. These are all the elements of this element bookstore. Okay, then if I wanted to define about multiple books, not one book, then what I need to do? If you have a bookstore as a root tag, define that book as a child tag multiple times. If you wanted to define two books, so this is about first book, this is about the second book. If you wanted to define multiple books, 3, 4, 5, then also you can write multiple book tags with the same sub-child tags. So, title is a tag and this is a text Harry Potter and you are closing this. And this we can say it is a following all the naming rules. So, if the naming rules are followed, then we can say that XML document is a well-formed document. So, this XML document has no errors. So, it is error-free. Therefore, this is following the naming rules and well-formed. If you see every tag is having a closing tag, text is given, your book has been started, your closing, again book started, closing, category is given, and all the child tags. So, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 child tags are used. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 child tags are used in the second book also. This is how we have to maintain our rules, naming rules, and also make it as a well-formed document. Then, in this example, we have a text content that may contain text. So, this is also a text, this is also a text. And bookstore and book have an element contents because they contain elements. So, you have book and subtags like title, author, year, price, and book has an attribute. So, this is an attribute. So, in XML, we can also define empty tags, empty XML tags. That means what? There is no content. There is no content in between the tags. So, define your A tag, close your A tag. There is no content here. This is called empty. So, just you have to give like this, empty tag. Okay. This is also possible in the XML. And what are the naming rules? Okay. So, every element are case sensitive. Every element must start with a letter or underscore. We have this rule for defining the variables. So the same we are following for the XML also. So element names must start with a letter or underscore, otherwise it is not following the rule. You will get an error. Element names cannot start with the letters XML. So XML, as this is a prologue statement that we are going to give, so we cannot write like this, XML. So we cannot write like this because XML is a prologue statement that is given at the start of your program. So you cannot write it as XML tag. Okay. So it cannot start with the letters XML either in uppercase or lowercase or mix of both. Element names can contain letters, digits, hyphens, underscores and the periods. So it can contain anything, but it should start with a letter or the underscore. Suppose if you are writing, let me give color. Is it valid or invalid? Valid. If I am giving one color, valid or invalid? Invalid. So it should start with a letter or underscore. Suppose if I am giving this as a tag, valid or invalid? Wrong. Suppose if I am giving valid or invalid? Right, because it can start with a underscore. So these are the rules that you have to follow for defining an XML element. Element names cannot contain spaces, and also if you are giving, is it valid or invalid? No, because you have a space here. That is also wrong. Any name can be used. No words are reserved. Only one XML tag cannot be given. All other can be used. Anything can be used. Suppose if you are taking a blue as a tag, okay, that is fine. If you are taking bench as a tag, that is fine. If you are taking table, that is fine. If you are taking CSC, that is also fine. So like that in XML, anything can be written in as a tag because it is a user defined tag it supports. Therefore, XML is the only keyword that you cannot be used as an element or a tag. Naming styles. So there is no naming styles defined, but there are some commonly used. So naming styles is nothing but you will be given a lowercase, all lowercase or all uppercase. Can also use underscore. Underscore separates the words, two words. So that is also allowed. And uppercase, first letter in each word, camel case. That means, so this is also allowed. So uppercase first letter in each word except the first. That means first letter you are not giving uppercase, followed by you are giving. Suppose if I am giving Murray Lakshman Reddy group of institutions. So if I am giving like this, that is okay because you can give uppercases and you have connected all the words using the underscores. Is also fine. So if you choose a naming style, it is good to be consistent. XML elements are extensible. Extensible is nothing but when you are using tags, user defined tags, it also gives you some special meaning or it also gives you the extension of what you have written, what are the tags that you have given. So extended to carry more information. So here what is the information? You are writing a note, okay, to somebody, from somebody, some message you are passing, that information you are passing. So how the data can be understood, by how this message can be understood or how this message can be written in XML is in this way. Okay. If you add some elements, so firstly you have written this text and then you have added some date. Okay, when don't forget me this weekend. So I am going to give some date also. Okay, some date. So if you are not having that before and also if you are adding, it gives you the appropriate output. It will not hit you any error. Okay. So here the author XML document added some extra information. What is that information? Some date they have given. So whether it should give you the output or not, obviously it will give you the output. The application should still able to find two from body elements and produce the same output. That is also one of the advantage that you have with XML document. XML elements can have attributes just like HTML. Attributes are designed to contain data related to the specific element. If I am going to give branch, okay, then department CSE. That is fine. Here you are giving the information which department you are belonging to is under branch. Suppose if I am writing branch color red, is it related? No. So there is no meaning in giving like this. So this is not. We don't define in that way. Attributes must be related to your elements that are going to define. So if you see here, person is there, gender you are giving. What type of a person you are telling? Person is a gender. Gangster, what type of gangster you are giving? Okay. So like this you can define the attributes and the values. If the attribute value itself contains double quotes, you can use single quotes like. So here, if the name is having like this, obviously you can use the single quotes outside our value. Okay. This is also fine. Ampersand QUOT is a escape sequence or entity reference. So what type of entity reference you are given? Ampersand QUOT semicolon. This is nothing but quotations. So if you wanted to define quotations in the name by default, then to get these double quotes not to overlap with the double quotes that you are giving outside, so you can use this entity reference to differentiate the double quotes that you are giving outside within the name. Okay. So in that way we use entity references also. XML element versus attributes. So person, gender you have given female, first name, last name. So gender you can also give as an attribute like this, or also you can give as an element. So there is no difference. You are giving the information about the gender either in the form of element or either in the form of a attribute. Both are fine. So here we are giving a gender in the form of an element. Here we are giving the gender in the form of attribute. Okay. There are no rules about when to use attributes or when to use it as an element. You can also define like this. You can also define like that. Okay. And here I have a date attribute. So I am using the date as an attribute for note. And in this example, I am giving the date as a element. This is an attribute. Okay. Here I am giving date as a child tag. And year, month, day. These are sub-child tags. This is also fine. This is also fine. This is also fine. Okay. There is no specific rule of how and way to define the same as an element or as an attribute or as a sub-child tags. Anything you can use. Okay. So, do you wanted to avoid XML attributes or always write the XML elements? Or what? Some things to consider when using the attributes. Attributes cannot contain multiple values. Then you can't contain. So suppose if you are giving, suppose I am giving a branch and I am giving the departments. So let me give CSE /IT /EC /AIML /DS/CS. So in this way I cannot give multiple values. So cannot contain the multiple values. But elements can. Elements Can contain. Attributes cannot contain a tree structure. So you are having branch, inside this you can write a department, inside this you can have CSE, okay. So like this you can have sub-children. So elements can, but attributes cannot. Attributes are not easily expandable. Suppose if you are writing any element, suppose if you can add one more element here, say first years, second years, like that. But if you wanted to give the this same, add these as an attributes, that is not possible. Okay. So, you cannot write note, day, month, year as a multiple attributes for a single element. This is wrong. Okay. So, here some ID references are assigned to elements. ID references are nothing but here I have given ID 501, ID 502. Okay. These are the reference. And messages are the root tag, and note is a child tag, and to from heading body is a sub-child tags. The ID attributes above of identifying the different notes. Suppose I have note which is with the ID 501, this is my first note, let me say. This is note 502. That means I am trying to say that the information that I have given here is different from the information that I am giving in the second note. So, how I should differentiate is just by giving the different attributes like different IDs, I am going to tell that, or I am going to give you the information that there are two different messages. It is not a part of a note itself. When I am trying to say here, that is a metadata. Data about the data. This is note, which is a data, but this is a second note, that's a metadata. Okay. So such things can also be stored as an attributes. Data itself should be stored as an elements. So this is what about the XML attributes, XML elements, XML values, and in this session I have just gave you how a same element can be defined as an element, or you can also define that text as an attribute also, or also as a subchild elements. So there is no specific rule to define an attribute or an element. It is up to the user who writes or who gives the information. Thank you all.